So I want to talk about 3 different news items that happened for the Packers over this past weekend. The first thing here from Tom Silverstein said this: all coaches on the Packers defense have been given permission to apply for other jobs after the team hired Jeff Hafley as its new defensive coordinator Wednesday. And so with Hafley coming in, being the defensive coordinator, odds are that he's going to be able to pick a lot of the coaches he wants to come in here and be on his defensive coaching staff. And it sounds like the Packers have given these other coaches who are here under Joe Barry the opportunity to potentially find opportunities elsewhere. And with that being the case, there are now 2 different defensive coaches who are not going to be back with the Packers. So first off here from Rob Demovsky: Packers defensive quality control coach Justin Hood is joining the Falcons as secondary coach. He's reunited with Jerry Gray in Atlanta. So Hood has been with the Packers since 2021, so the past 3 seasons, and he did have some time in Green Bay with Jerry Gray, who was a former Packers defensive backs/passing game coordinator from 2020 to 2022, so it looks like he got a new opportunity over there in Atlanta, and he will no longer be on this Packers defensive staff. Then the next one, here from Matt Schneidman, who says, sources: Packers defensive line coach and run game coordinator Jerry Montgomery is not returning next season on Jeff Hafley's staff. Montgomery has been with Green Bay since 2015 and already has multiple opportunities to coach elsewhere. It came out as well from Tom Silverstein at PackersNews.com saying this: Green Bay Packers defensive line coach Jerry Montgomery is expected to interview with the New England Patriots on Saturday, according to sources. So Jerry Montgomery has been with the Packers for the past 9 seasons, which is the longest time of any current Packers assistant coach. So 9 different years, so spent time under, a few different defensive coordinators here in Green Bay. And, with him being the defensive line coach, I think there's been some ups and downs. There's been some, nice pass rushing from guys like Devontae Wyatt coming into his second year. Kenny Clark has been a beast for a long, long while. But under him as defensive line coach, this Packers run defense has been really bad for a long time. Worse in the past 5 years if you look at just yards per carry allowed, which is 4.66 yards. Saw that stat from Bill Huber. Of course, it's not all his fault, but he does take some part in how this Packers defensive line plays against the run. But I think that he's been a solid coach here in Green Bay. Now looks like he'll be getting opportunities elsewhere, potentially in New England, which means that, new defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley is probably going to bring in some other coaches here, maybe guys he has prior experience with, whether that's during his tenure in the NFL for 7 seasons. Maybe it's some college coaches, who knows? But it looks like the Packers and Matt LaFleur will be allowing Hafley to bring in some of his own guys, with now 2 Packers coaches seemingly not returning to the staff this next year. And the final news here we have from Brady Henderson, who says this: former Rams, Vikings, and Seahawks QB Shawn Manion is ending his 9-year NFL playing career and has accepted a position on the Packers coaching staff, a source tells me. He'll work with QBs in the passing game. I've heard from several people over the last few years who said Manion was destined to eventually coach because of his intelligence and understanding of the game. He'll get the start in Green Bay after finishing last season on the Seahawks practice squad. And we have here as well from Tom Silverstein, who says this: according to an NFL source, LaFleur has received a commitment from Clements to coach during the 2024 season, assuring him he will have a key figure in developing a quarterback, Jordan Love, on his staff for another year. And so even though Shawn Manion is coming into Green Bay to coach QBs and the passing game, Packers' current QB coach, Tom Clements, does look like he will be returning in 2024. He's about to be 71 years old in June. He's been with the Packers for a long time, was with them during, with McCarthy back in the day, as well as with Rodgers early in his career. Rodgers has always praised him. Rodgers sort of vied for him to come back to Green Bay a couple seasons ago, and it looks like Clements has done a lot with Jordan Love to really help improve his game and make him a more polished passer. So Shawn Manion will come in and, help Tom Clements with the quarterbacks. And I've seen Silverstein as well as Bill Huber mention that it could be because Clements is 70 years old. There's been questions, when he's going to retire. Maybe they're bringing Manion in to potentially take over that role once Clements decides to call it quits officially, whenever that is. But according to Silverstein, does not seem like he's going to leave yet or retire at this point. And also hear from Silverstein, but the source said the hiring had no effect on Clements' position because he had already committed to another season. Manion, who played for the Los Angeles Rams when LaFleur was offensive coordinator there in 2017, retired from the Seattle Seahawks so that he could take the Packers job ESPN reported. So if we look at Shawn Manion, his career, he played college football at Oregon State from 2011 to 2014, was drafted by the Rams in the 3rd round of the 2015 NFL Draft, and then he was in the NFL for 9 seasons until this year. He was with the Rams 2015 to 2018, the Vikings 2019 to 2021, the Seahawks practice squad in 2022, and then the Vikings and Seahawks practice squad in 2023. And so for a majority of his career, he was just the backup, only started in 3 games in his 9-year career, played in a total of 14 career games. He was 67 of 110 in his career, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, a 66.2 passer rating. So he didn't really have too much success in his playing time in the NFL. But from what we heard from Brady Henderson, it sounds like, coaches recognize his intelligence, his understanding of the game, and so that's probably why the Packers decided to bring him in here, because they obviously see that, he has a future as a potential quarterbacks coach. Maybe one day he'll, rise in the ranks to offensive coordinator, head coach, who knows? But that's a new face here in the Packers offense on their coaching staff. So that is all for this video. If you want more Packers news, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.